All right, I think we are live. Hi, everyone. It's been a minute since I have gone live on Facebook. How are you guys? All right. Okay, I'm also recording, so we're good. How is everyone? I am just getting settled, and then I will talk to you all about what I'm doing today. All right, I think I'm good. I have a new Zoom background. That's why my hand might disappear a little bit, but we're doing good. This is what I'm drinking. Oh, wow. Zoom background just played me. All right. Well, I'm drinking a kombucha. So I'm going to do that while I'm talking today. If you're here live, leave me a comment, please. I'm going to try and see if I maybe see comments, but all right. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So I can see comments. All right. That's enough fiddling around. Let's get started. Hi, friends and family. How are you guys? For those of you who may not know who I am Sarah Ellis. I am a naturopathic medical student, soon to be naturopathic doctor. I graduate in like 60 something days. Let's see what the countdown is today. 63 days. You can kind of see. Zoom won't let me be great, but 63 days until I will be a doctor. And so I am launching a new podcast. It's called The Black Girl's Guide to Natural Medicine. And this podcast is near and dear to my heart. This is where I will be sharing all the tips and tricks and educational gems about natural medicine, about how you can apply it in your life, how beneficial it is for yourself, for your children, for your partner, for your family, your community, the world. So I am super excited to get started. So I'm going to start a little bit just about me, about who I am. Like I said, I'm a naturopathic student, soon to be doctor. I am a wife. I am a mama to two children. I have a 2.5-year-old son and a 3.5-month-old daughter. And I'm currently living in San Diego. So I want to kind of talk to you about why I became a naturopathic doctor and also how holistic medicine has impacted my own life. And then later on, I'll talk to you just about the show, why I created it, how it's structured, what you can expect. So, I became a naturopathic doctor because I was a researcher at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and I was studying pharmacognosy. And I'm sure many of you are like, pharma who? What are you saying? What is this word? Pharmacognosy is drug design and drug discovery from natural products. And so we investigated the effects of plants, at least that was my project. And so I studied the estrogenic effects of different plants used for menopausal symptom relief. And I've discovered some amazing data. And I was enjoying sharing it with other researchers, going to conferences. Everyone thought it was so cool. But all the women who were going through menopause didn't have access to this information. And I just thought that that was the worst thing ever. And so I knew that I wanted to be in a position where I could share this information with the women that needed it. And so I was dating my now husband, and one of his best friends had just graduated from naturopathic medical school. And she I was meeting her. She found out about my research and she's like, you need to become an ND. Like, this would be so awesome for you. And I'm like, ma'am, what is that? What is the naturopathic doctor? I don't know what that is. And so I did my research, I started shadowing, and I fell in love. And I said, okay, this is what I meant to do. It gives me a chance to become a doctor, which I've always wanted to do, but also focus more on holistic, natural remedies and lifestyle counseling, diet, nutrition. It just was perfect for me. So I applied to one school that I wanted to go. I got in, and now I'm getting ready to graduate. And I have blossomed so much in these last 5 years. And I personally seen how effective holistic and natural medicine is. So for me in particular, about 6 months after I started school, I was diagnosed with PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I was devastated. I mean, I had just gotten married. I have always wanted to be a mother. I've always wanted to have children. And I was desperate to start my family as soon as possible. And when I research stuff about PCOS, they tell you it's the leading cause of infertility among women. And most women with PCOS will likely have difficulties getting pregnant. And so, I was crushed. What am I supposed to do? So thankfully, as a student, I have access to a naturopathic clinic. And so I went in, I became a patient, and that was March 2017. And March 2018, I found out I was pregnant with my son, and I was floored. Between then, I took about a year. Actually, no, I took about 9 months to focus on my diet. I cleaned up my diet. I started working out with a personal trainer. I was prescribed a bunch of different herbal blends as tinctures and teas to balance my hormones, manage my blood sugar dysregulation, manage my adrenal health. And I was all of the moms I'm smiling because all of the moms who are trying to conceive or who have gone through infertility stuff, they're familiar with what I'm about to say. I mean, I was checking my ovulation with ovulation predictor kits. I was tracking my cycle and timing sex, which was not fun. And I'm sure I'll have my husband on here as in an episode just to talk about what it was like for him going through that. But after 9 months of focusing on that, my husband and I started actively trying to conceive in January. And then I became pregnant in March. And so I have a beautiful little boy, and his name is Roman. He is the light of my life. And I was so excited. I mean, it was wonderful. And then I developed postpartum anxiety, and it was one of the most difficult experiences of my life, to be honest with you. I had so much rage. When you're pregnant and just giving birth, they always tell you to look out for the signs of postpartum depression. And so I just kept my eyes open for, do I feel detached from my baby? Am I sad and crying and just not sure why? And I didn't have any of that. I loved my baby. I just I didn't feel sad. I wasn't crying, but I was mad. I mean, my fuse was non-existent. It wasn't even short, it was non-existent. And so finally, I'll have to talk to my husband about getting into the details, but I had a moment where I just blacked out. I lost my mind. Okay. And I was just in a rage, and it was scary. It was so scary for myself, for my husband. And at that moment, I said, okay, I can't do this. Something is not right. I have to get this sorted out. And so I met with my naturopathic doctor. She created a tea and tincture formula for me with herbs specifically designed for hormone balancing to nourish the system of a new mom who just gave birth. And I also began to see a therapist specifically for new moms and postpartum moms. And I joined a support group. And after a few months, I felt better. I was able to pick up on signs when I was feeling burnt out and feeling on edge. And so I was able to kind of stave that off. And after a few months, I was, back to my old self. And so it was at that moment where I was like, okay, when I graduate, I know I want to work with women dealing with fertility and infertility, or what I like to call subfertility. But I had a newfound appreciation for the power of supporting women during the postpartum phase. It's such a sensitive phase. Everything's new and stressful. And women need as much support as they can get. So, sorry, I have to put my phone on mute because everyone's just messaging me. All right, awesome. So, yeah, that's kind of how holistic medicine and naturopathic medicine has changed my life. So much so that we surprisingly got pregnant last April. This time last year, I found out I was pregnant with our COVID quarantine baby, and I gave birth to her December 30th of this past year. And having gone through what I went through with my son, I felt way more prepared for postpartum life. So I still had leftover tinctures and teas from my last postpartum period. I have still been seeing my therapist, so I had that ready to go. And it's funny because shortly after I had given birth to my son, he was about 9 months or a year. I was just feeling so run down. I had very little energy, and I had my hormones run, and my naturopathic doctor saw that my testosterone was low, which, if you're familiar with PCOS, your testosterone is actually really high. And so I found that pregnancy had kind of thrown my hormones everywhere. And so she gave me a new tincture. I know I've been talking about tinctures and teas the whole time, but this one was designed to balance my hormones, get my testosterone levels within range, and get my libido back. And as you guys can see, that worked perfectly because I got pregnant the following, like 4 months later or so. So I say all that to say, naturopathic medicine has changed my life. It has changed the lives of patients that I see every day in our clinic. And it's just unfortunate because I feel like it has become so posh and expensive, where a lot of people just don't have access to it. They either don't know that it exists or they can't afford to see a private naturopathic doctor, and then they come to student clinics, which we appreciate. But I wanted to create this show to have a space for Black women to come to be educated about certain topics, to have different questions answered, and to kind of have an expert in their pocket. Like, oh, I have a question about this. Let's see what Sarah is talking about. So this is the space where I'm going to be teaching my listeners about different health and wellness topics based on women's health, fertility, postpartum, lactation, pediatrics, and also chronic diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, autoimmune disease, gut health. And even I especially want to talk about the trendy wellness topics. Everyone knows about, like, everyone's doing keto and paleo and vegan, and people are kind of confused. Like, Does it work for me? Will it work for me? Can I do it? Is it safe when I'm pregnant? Is it safe in postpartum and lactation? And so this is where you can get your answers. Basically, I want to highlight the benefits of natural medicine as it pertains to Black women and Black women's health. What you can expect is having evidence based, holistic resources to address everyday health concerns for Black women and your families. I definitely want to say that this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be considered medical advice. I'm not providing medical advice. And I encourage you to consult with your naturopathic doctor or other medical care provider before adopting any of the recommendations that we talk about on this show. And I say that because, I gotta cover my butt, y'all, and also it's about safety and about you making sure that you create a healthcare team that is working for you. And that's actually going to be a topic of an upcoming episode where I am going to be talking to you about creating your ideal healthcare team, or what I call your healthcare dream team. And so that's going to be an upcoming episode, and you can expect this season 12 episodes. I'm coming to you every Friday streaming. My goal is to be on around 9:30 in the morning on Fridays, but I got kids, it's quarantine. Things may happen, but I will be on Friday because, as you can see, it's like 2 o'clock on Friday. It's clearly not 9:30 in the morning. But I'll definitely let you guys know ahead of time when I'm on the way. And these episodes, let's see if I can pull up what we will be talking about this season. Okay, so this season, this first episode is an intro about myself and the show, as you can tell. Next episode, we are going to be talking about building your healthcare dream team. Then I'm going to be talking to you about what naturopathic medicine is. We're going to go over what we do, what we don't do, and kind of the confusing rules about naturopathic doctors, and do they take insurance? Do they not? Are there any naturopathic doctors in my city, in my state? How do I find them? So that's what we'll be covering in that episode. Then I'm going to talk to you about the supplements that I take, why I take them, where I get them from, the importance of choosing high quality supplements. So that's what we'll be talking about then, and so forth and so on. The best part is that I'm also going to be interviewing some of my favorite health and wellness experts. So if there's anyone you would like for me to chat with, leave it down in the comments below. And if you want to be featured, if you're a Black health and wellness provider, therapist, leave a comment below, email me, and we'll get you on the show. So let me hop onto Facebook and see if I can find any questions, any comments. Let's see. Bear with me, y'all. This is my first time going live. All right, cool. Okay, no questions as of yet, and that's fine. I am going to go sign off. This was a great first episode. Thank you so much. Please head to sarahellis.co, SARAHELLIS.co, not .com, .co, for more information on myself, where you can find me. I'm also on social media. This page is at Motherhood Manifested. My personal Instagram is at XO Sarah Ellis. So you can find me on Instagram. And right here on Facebook, I'll also be starting a YouTube channel. So I would love it if you subscribe and share. If you know any women who would love to know about this show, who would benefit from the information I'll be sharing, please share this live stream with them and share the link to my website. And I'll also be turning this content into a podcast, so you can subscribe wherever you get your podcast. It's known as The Black Girl's Guide to Natural Medicine. It has been a pleasure to talk to you guys, and I will catch you next time.